A very good morning to the 8th standard students and welcome to this grammar class where we're going to carry on with our discussion on prepositions, but today we're going to look at a new preposition which is a, and then we're going to look at the prepositions which you use in front of the names of different countries. So let's begin. The preposition a, it can take on various meanings such as to, in, and at. Okay, it is used in its simplest form. That means it is used as a. Okay, the accent on top is important. It is used in its simplest form before the names of places which are smaller than countries. So whenever you want to say you are going to a particular city, or you live in so and so state, okay, or you're working at so and so village, whenever you want to talk about something that is happening in, or you're going to, or coming to, okay, or living at, and the place is smaller than a country, then you have to use the preposition a. Okay, so you can use it with verbs like habiter to live, with aller to go, okay, venir to come. Please note that when you're using it with venir, it is only when you're coming to a particular place, not coming from a particular place. A is never from. Okay, a is only to. From is a different preposition, that is the. For now, we're only focusing on a. So, for example, you can say a Goa. Okay, j'habite à Goa because Goa is a state that is smaller than a country. So, I live in Goa. You want to say I'm going to Delhi. You can say je vais à Delhi because Delhi is again a city that is smaller than a country. So, you can use a. Tu viens à Londres. You are coming to London. So London takes a special name in France, that is Londres. Okay, there are very few cities which change their names. It is mostly the countries that change their names in French. So Londres also takes a. Now this is when you are talking about places which are smaller than countries, you have to use a. Now what happens when you're actually talking about countries? Supposing you say I live in India, or you want to say she works in Germany. How do you say things like that? So that for this purpose, we cannot use the preposition a. It changes its form into three new prepositions, which we're going to see the rules for now. So just like we use a for locations that are smaller than countries, we have a separate set of prepositions which we use for the countries. Now, we decide which preposition we are using based on the first letter and the last letter of the name of the country. Now, when I say name of the country, I'm referring to the French name of the country. This is an important point because many of the countries' names differ, okay, in English and in French. So you have to be aware of the French name and accordingly make your decision. So just like the preposition a, the prepositions for countries can be used with different verbs. It's not only that you have to say I am living here or I am going here. You can use it with I am working here, okay, traveling, living, studying. You can use it with many different verbs. And according to that, the preposition takes on different meanings like at, in, and to. So let's look at the three rules which will help you decide which preposition to use for which countries. So the simplest rule is when the country ends with S, that means it is a plural country. So you have to use AUXO in that situation. When the country ends with S, straight away you have to use AUX. So États-Unis is United States. It's plural in English also, states. It ends with S, so you have to use AUX. Aux États-Unis. If you want to say I am working in the United States, je travaille aux États-Unis. Then Maldives ends with an S, so you have to say aux Maldives. Then Seychelles ends with an S, so you have to say aux Seychelles. Philippines ends with an S, plural, so you'll have to say O. Does anyone know what Pays-Bas is? Pays-Bas is the Netherlands. Okay, even in English it is a plural country. The Netherlands ends with an S. Here also it's a plural country, so you have to say AUX, O Pays-Bas. This is the simplest rule. Now the next rule is that when you have a country's name that starts with a vowel or it ends with an E, or both the conditions are satisfied. Okay, so either it should start with a vowel or it should end with an E, or if both the conditions are satisfied, then you have to use this preposition, which is en. So let's take our country for example. And India is and, starts with a vowel and it ends with an E. Both the conditions are satisfied, we have to use en. And okay, take for example France. It ends with an E. Okay, so it should either start with a vowel or end with an E, or both. It's not compulsory that both should be there. As long as any one of the conditions are satisfied, you can use on. So en France, because it ends with an E. Then Iran starts with a vowel, so one condition is satisfied, that's enough. You can say on Iran. Okay, I live in Iran. J'habite en Iran. Now Australia, it changes a little bit in French, becomes Australie. So now here again, both the conditions are met. Okay, starts with a vowel and it ends with an E, just like and. So you have to say en Australie. And the last example is Nouvelle-Zélande, which is New Zealand. It ends with an E. Okay, it doesn't start with a vowel, but that's not important. The second condition is met. It ends with an E. So you have to say en Nouvelle-Zélande. Okay, you want to say I'm studying in New Zealand, you would say j'étudie en Nouvelle-Zélande. Okay, now the last rule is that when the country's name starts with a consonant and it doesn't end with E or S. Now in this case, both the conditions have to be satisfied. Only then you will use AUO. Okay, both the conditions have to be satisfied here. It should start with a consonant and it should not end with E and S. So Portugal, P is a consonant and L is not E, L is not S. So you can say au Portugal. You want to say she works in Portugal. Elle travaille au Portugal. Japon, which is Japan, starts with a consonant and the last letter is not E, it's not S. So you are clear, you can use au Japon. Canada starts with a consonant, that is C, and doesn't end with E, doesn't end with S. Au Canada. Brazil is Brazil, starts with a consonant, doesn't end with E, doesn't end with S. So you can say au Brazil. And the last example I've given you is Bangladesh, whose name doesn't change. So B is a consonant, doesn't end with E, doesn't end with S. So you can say O Bangladesh. Okay. I hope these examples have made it clear for you to understand these three rules when you are talking about prepositions for countries. Please remember, anything that is smaller than a country takes A, but when you're talking about a country, you have to use these three prepositions: en, au, and aux. Okay, please follow the rules given to you. You will never find a country which goes into two rules. You'll never find a country which doesn't go into any of the rules. Every country will fall into only one of the three rules, and accordingly you have to decide which preposition you have to give it. I hope this video is clear and the concept of prepositions for countries has been understood by you. See you soon with a new video. Thank you.